the next speaker is going to be Chris Palma, and Chris has a very realistic story about the flu shot, the story that you don't hear, the story that is going down all over the place, but you don't hear it. And he's going to talk about an 8-year-old child. We are trying to protect infants through 5 years old. So when you hear the story about this 8-year-old child, realize much worse. Even, I don't think it can get worse, but quite frankly, more prevalent is it happening to the youngest. So please welcome Christian Palma. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yes, we are in very urgent times right now. But basically, my introduction to this was pretty extreme. I'm a doctor of physical therapy, and in November of '09, one of my patients, a nurse at a major hospital, an RN, she was treating her for a bad ankle, and she'd bring in her 8-year-old, a happy, positive, good-looking, healthy child. In fact, a tremendous athlete, this 8-year-old. My colleagues and I would throw balls to him, and he'd zip around everywhere and just perform amazing things. And for 8 years of age, it was an exceptional talent, potential unlimited, health golden, no allergies, no familial illness whatsoever, no diabetes or asthma, nothing of that variety, no cancer. Exceedingly well in school. Mom unfortunately watches a lot of TV. She decided to get her little boy Sean a seasonal flu shot because she gets her benefits at that hospital, and because the propaganda on the TV just fed it to her that that's what she needs to do. So this healthy boy was taken there unbeknownst to me. She didn't tell me about it, but 7 days later I got a call from her while she's in the ER, and she was crying her eyes out, screaming, and incredibly sad. Rightfully so, justifiably indeed. But I could sense her fearing for her boy's life in every way, and I raced to that boy. I got there as quickly as possible, and I ran into the ER, and I see this boy, this healthy, this once healthy pride and joy, behind the glass in the ER, having seizures and nausea of insane magnitude. He's foaming at the mouth. His eyes are rolling up in the back of his head. It was absolutely horrifying to witness, and it's still the shrieks and screams of anguish are still embedded in my collective consciousness. But basically, I ran back there with the other docs, and we're doing everything we can do to stabilize that boy. But it was made a little bit more difficult because his immune system, his white blood cell count, was at a 0. All right. He had no defense mechanisms left. His survival instincts were stripped away. Little Sean died a violent death. Okay, the best athlete in all the 3rd grade for that entire school district. He was, and his gym teacher said he might actually be the best athlete in the 4th grade as well. Impeccable health. Seasonal flu shot 7 days later, dead, annihilated, done. Okay, and Mom torn apart, my colleagues and I torn apart. It compelled me to do incredible research, and I still do it. I don't even have kids, but this is a little fire in me like nothing before. We're #1 in the world in vaccines, and it's no coincidence that we're #1 in autism. And it was released about 2 months ago. Something I've known for a couple of years. We're #1 in infant mortality as well. This is no joke. Right? We have to wake up. All right, and we have to be proactive and defy these things. We can't let the government give us, plan our lives for us. They're tyrants. It's pretty obvious. Okay, we have the most imprisoned nation in world history. Okay, this is medical tyranny they're enacting on us, and we must do something. California did fight, but I want to see everybody. I'll be here with you, right, every time. Overnight, whatever it is, day after day, here, making it happen. Okay, and take lead from a Sally Elkerty. Okay, it's a sterling example of just of solid leg work on the behalf of every one of you. Okay, and if we can't stand for our fellow man, then nobody's going to stand for you when it's your time. Right? So we have to step up and watch out. Even if you don't have children, okay, then you step up for the ones who do, because they're looking to prey upon you next. Right? California has children have mandatory vaccines. Pretty soon it's going to be the adults that have mandatory vaccines, okay? And if you allowed your own most vulnerable possession or vulnerable being in the world, your child, to be preyed upon by a government, then there's no hope for you, all right? We have to stand up for everybody and fight this and defy this. All right. I thank you for your time, and I'm going to give the floor to Sally afterwards.
Thank you very much, Christian Palma. Very, very much. Well, Christian was wearing a shirt that was one for Eric vaccineinjury.com, the number, digit 4, Eric vaccine injury, and that is my friend Ronnie Pryn's son, who was taken down by one vaccine. Here we're talking about multiple, endless vaccines. This child was taken down by one vaccine, as the young man that Chris was talking about. Both of them are dead. So that's the bottom line. So I want to talk to you about one other issue. I showed you that the pharmaceutical companies had liability. The pharmaceutical companies don't have liability. See the difference? When they have liability and when they don't have liability. And this is just through age 6. Now, what's important here is another action I'm going to ask you to take, and I'll put all of this on my blog, BillionToddlerMarchForSurvival.blogspot.com, and but it's a petition to Congress to lift they're being excused from liability, the drug companies and the healthcare workers. Nobody's liable but you. So if anything happens to your child, it will be your fault. In fact, I just was hearing about a man who got out of prison. He was accused of shaken baby syndrome, and they found out that it was not his child. It was not his doing, shaking the baby, but he had to admit guilt. And the guilt he admitted was to taking his child to the pediatrician. I'll repeat that. He was guilty of taking his child to the pediatrician. So we are at a crossroads right now. People who are in the healthcare field, they don't want to be vaccinated. Well, we don't want you vaccinating our children. So you have to say, where do I stand? It is a critical time for all of us. Legislators. I have a roster of legislators who voted against adding two vaccines to the schedule for 7th and 12th grades, and I'm going to post their names. These are our heroes, the people who are not going along to get along at the peril of our children. Very important that we salute them, we thank them, we recognize them, because they're few and far between. The majority ruled, and our children are now being told, if the governor signs off on S4324A, will be given 2 more dangerous vaccines. So I had the schedule, I printed out the adult vaccination schedule, because I wanted you to see how many vaccines they have in store for us. You'd really be appalled. But I put that on my blog. Obviously it didn't print out, but I put it on my blog, BillionToddlerMarchForSurvival.blogspot.com. Now I'm going to introduce you to someone who is a very unique body of knowledge that I am eager to learn from. Her name is Sarah E. Sarah E., please welcome.
Hi, first of all, I'm going to be brief. I'm not used to public speaking like this, but this is something dear to my heart. First of all, these vaccines should not be mandated. That's the first thing I believe in, because they're poisons. I think it's very interesting that the vaccine inserts, which the parents never look at, never read, are never given to them, clearly state that they carry the risk of injury or death. Anything that carries risk of injury or death should not be mandated. Should not. It's poison. And, people are often not educated on other ways of healing them, because this is not made available. Doctors are not really knowledgeable on other means of treating children aside from using pharmaceuticals, but there are other ways to treat children and to prevent illnesses. There's herbalism, there's homeopathy. There's right eating, eating non-processed food, avoiding sugars. I mean, these are known amongst people that are involved in the health field, that they will help you to maintain your health. And as many people that do delve into natural healing, they know that if a child does get sick, you can manage the illness if you know what to do. And this information is available if you go to the right sources, but you have to seek it out, because your doctor will never give you this information. You have to go out of your way and find this information, but it is there. There are many people that know how to maintain how to treat an illness, and your child can get through it just fine. I mean, I'm older already, and when I was growing up in the 60s, we all got the measles, we all got the mumps, we all got chicken pox, and it was nothing out of this world. And my mother had me vaccinated, and I still got them. And my mother didn't know about all the natural treatments or how to manage it. She just used common sense, and I got through them just fine. I didn't, I'm just fine. But of course, in the 60s, the amount of vaccinations was nothing compared to what it is now. Now there's the list is like this, as Sally showed you. Before, I might have gotten one, and that's it. And like I said, it actually didn't even provide any protection, because I still got the illnesses. We all did back then. I mean, we even had parties where parents wanted you to go visit other children so that you could catch the illnesses, because they knew that if you catch these childhood illnesses, you would be immune for life. Natural immunity. You would really be immune and never have to worry about getting them again. And then you would emerge as a stronger person. I'm in my 50s. I think I'm in quite good health, and I don't have any chronic illnesses, and I'm sure it's due to my not being poisoned with all these chemicals. And as I said, I use natural treatments, as Yuka said. I eat properly, try to avoid, regular vegetables. I try to eat organic as much as I can, less meat. There's many different rules of natural healing that if you apply them to yourselves, you will be much healthier. Have I gotten the flu? I've gotten the flu. Sometimes it's not the end of the world. I eat right, I eat vegetables, I drink juice, vegetable juices, avoid certain acid-producing foods, and I get better. I've never had to go to a hospital ever, and I don't take regular pharmaceuticals. So thank you, and I urge the mayor, I urge all the lawmakers, please do not try to force this on our children. Please do not kill our children. Please do not try to kill us, because this is genocide. If these vaccinations are mandated, this is genocide of the children and of the adults. Thank you.
Right. Yes. Thank you, Sarai. Thank you. Okay. Well, I would like to thank our speakers today. My name is Sally L. Cordy, and Yuka Azuma and Christian Palma and Sarai. We're going to take some pictures on the steps of City Hall now, but I hope you will take the many actions that I've laid out and join Awake New York. Awake New York is for people who will take action. And Awake New York is for people who will take action. And you can find out how to get an exemption and typical outcomes from vaccines in the description. You don't have to join. I don't want people to join who are not serious about stopping the travesty, the crime of vaccines. And again, I say the crime is in the offering, because every single child I know who is vaccine injured, their parent had a choice, but they were lied to. So what's the use of choice if you never get the truth? Until we can stop, until people stop lying for money, there is no true choice. So I say ban vaccines. 100% poison. Crime is in the offering.